Let's get ready to rumble! Oh yeah!
Welcome back to UncatSat. In our last video, we were talking about the deductive process of acquiring knowledge. We explained its shortcomings. That, through deductive reasoning, one is unable to attain spiritual realization. In this video, we will look at the inductive method through which the divine is revealed. The great saint, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, has categorized people into two groups. The first group are those whose focus is projected towards the outside world. They are categorized as extroverted. The second category are those whose consciousness is focused on their inner world. They are categorized as introspective. Perhaps you remember that game many of us played as children. When you've got to find something, and your friends give you hints by telling you when you're getting warmer or getting colder. You're getting warmer, hotter, getting hotter, so hot, boiling, you're scalding hot now. Well, if your spiritual search is projected outward into the material world, then guess what? That's right. You're getting colder. The spiritual journey is an inner journey. An inner search. A search to discover the real self. A self beyond both the physical and mental planes. This is why empirical philosophers, with their consciousness focused externally, remain bereft of spiritual realization. The spiritual journey is a search, not just for the self, but for the supreme self, the divine reality. Accompanying this search is an internal dialogue. Eventually, the divine manifests to the sincere soul, through both external acknowledgement and internal confirmation. When that connection is made, this is the beginning of faith. Faith is the currency in transcendence. Let's make it crystal clear. With the deductive method, the focus is external, and, with the inductive method, the focus is on the introspective search for a higher reality. Unfortunately, our uncontrolled senses distract us from this all-important inner process. Being enveloped with sense perception, it is inevitable that spiritual pursuit lays dormant, only to be awakened by great fortune, or by very intense experiences in our lives. This is why people go away to the forest, on vision quests and the like, to have a chance to connect with the deeper aspects of their inner being. Exploration of our inner landscape is all well and good, but due to the extremely subtle nature of the self, and the superself, we will need assistance in our journey. I'm sure that we've all heard stories in the news of crazed madmen that said that God told them to go and kill someone. This is a crass example, but it illustrates the need for guidance. Therefore, the Vedas is there to give us direction. We should know that the conditioned soul is covered by multiple layers of ignorance. Ignorance that makes direct audience of the divine in his own heart virtually impossible. The spiritual method is such that the supersoul will manifest externally as the spiritual master to guide the spiritual aspirant on his long journey. The divine master is a manifestation of the mercy of the Supreme. This relationship between guru and disciple is not mundane. We have explained in previous videos the guru-disciple relationship. The guru is a complementary and essential element to the internal process. The divine is unlimited, and therefore according to how that supreme is approached, realization will vary accordingly. This could be a whole video, or even a series of videos in and of itself. In basic terms, in the general sense, if one tries to approach spirit directly, then the aspirant will try to become one with the divine. However, if the aspirant approaches the absolute, through the correct process, through the disciplic succession, then, the realm of simultaneous oneness and difference with the divine becomes accessible. The inductive method, or spiritual method, is the process of revealed truth that is transmitted from guru to disciple, and that relationship is not limited by time and space. When the search is sincere, then the bona fide preceptor will appear before the disciple. The divine within the aspirant inspires that soul to accept the shelter of the realized master. The guru-disciple relationship is formalized through initiation, but that formality is secondary to the internal dynamics, which brought the relation into being in the first place. Just as a wedding ceremony is an acknowledgement to society at large of the commitment of two people's love for each other, so the disciple becomes initiated into the school of transcendental knowledge, and the tender seed of devotion germinates and grows. In the initial stage, faith is there, and that faith condenses through spiritual discipline until the fruit of divine love is eventually attained. The various levels and stages of that journey have been mapped out by saints, realized masters and scripture for thousands of years. It is a narrow, but well-defined path, which the Vedas urges us to follow. The inductive spiritual path is the attainment of divine love. Your basic atheistic scientists find it hard to quantify love, to understand emotions. They can't fit them into their test tubes. They reject faith as blind. They cannot entertain the concept of 20/20 faith. Their minds are closed. If faith is blind, and for some, it is, then, at least, they could acknowledge the concept of 20/20 faith as a theoretical possibility, and that acknowledgement would be a stepping stone to higher learning. Sincerity is paramount in the search for the divine absolute. Scripture, Guru, and the saints are the three reference points for the soul in his journey of self-realization. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope to see you again in the next one. Om. Cat. Sat.